The windshafts of Varellus Prime moaned like grieving beasts as Queen Syraxa knelt upon the obsidian floor of her throne hall. Her silver carapace, usually shimmering like sunlit ice, was dimmed with dust and sorrow. Around her lay the crystalline shells of her daughters, her clutch of 7, once the future of her lineage, now scattered and empty. The bodies were gone, vanished without trace. For 3 cycles she had searched, dispatching scouts, raising censors, interrogating every outsider who had crossed her borders. Nothing. Her daughters, juvenile but already gifted with a Varellian talent for empathic resonance, had disappeared like smoke on solar wind. And so the queen mourned. Not loudly, her species did not wail, but in a low, thrumming frequency that vibrated the palace walls, a sorrow song felt more than heard. It was said that if a Varellian queen lost her offspring, her heart core dimmed until she, too, succumbed. Some legends claimed a queen could die of grief alone. Syraxa believed those legends now. Her advisor, Kethryn, approached cautiously from behind a column of black basalt. "Your radiance," he whispered, antennae folding back respectfully. The search teams return empty-handed once more. Syraxa did not answer. She could not. Every time she tried to form words, the ache in her thorax surged. Kethryn hesitated. "There is one more matter. A human has entered the palace perimeter. He carries no weapons. The guards say he is." But Syraxa rose sharply, head turning toward the grand entrance. The resonance changed. The air trembled. Not distress. Not aggression. Recognition. A moment later, the doors parted with a slow hiss, and a human stepped inside holding 2 small Varellian children by their hands. The queen surged forward. His name, though Syraxa learned this later, was Commander Elias Rourke of the Terran Exploration Fleet. His appearance was plain for a human: brown hair, storm-gray eyes, and a uniform torn at the shoulder as if he had shielded someone small behind him. But none of this mattered to the queen. Her gaze locked onto the 2 younglings at his sides, Tivra and Melon, the 2nd and 4th of her clutch. Her daughters. Life. Syraxa reached them in a heartbeat. The empathic bond ignited, a cascade of warm pulses. The children squeaked with joy, squeezing their small hands into her armor plates. The hall erupted in murmurs. Guards raised their spears uncertainly. Kethryn looked ready to collapse. Rourke swallowed, standing perfectly still as the alien children clung to their mother. He waited for the queen to finish greeting them before raising his hands slowly in a gesture of peace. "Your Majesty," he said, voice careful but clear. "There are more. All 7 are alive." The queen froze. "Where?" Rourke nodded toward the still open doors. "Outside. Resting. They've been through quite a lot." Syraxa's legs nearly buckled. "Bring them," she commanded, not as a queen but as a mother. Rourke stepped back and signaled. Moments later, 5 more tiny forms scurried in, accompanied by 2 human medics. Some limped. Others bore scrapes or scorch marks. But they were breathing, glowing with faint empathic light. The queen gathered them like a constellation returning to orbit. For the first time in many cycles, her sorrow song faded. She turned her gaze, sharp, luminous, toward Elias Rourke. "How?" she asked softly. "Did you find them?" Syraxa did not move them to a council room or formal chamber. Instead, she led Elias Rourke and the 7 children to the Sanctum of Echoes, a circular chamber where the walls shimmered like liquid pearl. Here, a queen and her clutch could share resonance, memories, and truth. Rourke sat cross-legged on the floor, surprisingly calm despite the alien grandeur around him. "It started 3 weeks ago," he said. Our deep-range satellites caught distress signals near the asteroid belt. Faint, scrambled, not human. We investigated. Syraxa's antennae lowered. Their frequency. Yeah, Rourke said gently. We didn't know what it was until we found them, your daughters, being transported in a raider vessel. A trafficking ship. The Queen's claws clenched, scraping a harsh sound against the floor. Rourke continued, voice steady but not cold. The raiders were human. Not from the fleet. Rogue scavengers operating beyond regulated space. They knew Varelian empathic younglings fetch high prices on black markets. The Queen hissed so sharply the chamber lights flickered. We engaged, Rourke went on. Boarded the vessel. Freed the children. But the ship was rigged to self-destruct, so we evacuated fast. When we brought the younglings aboard our medical frigate, they were terrified. They didn't know if humans could be trusted. Trust, Syraxa murmured, is not given lightly. I know, he replied. But something happened. One of your daughters, this one I think. He pointed gently to Vera, the eldest. She sensed our medic's intentions. She linked with them. After that, the others calmed. They started showing us pictures. Memories. Her home. You. A warm pulse rippled through the chamber. Vera pressed her tiny forehead against her mother's palm. We learned they were yours, Rourke said. And we swore to bring them home. Syraxa studied him for a long moment. You risked your life for those not of your species. Rourke shrugged lightly. Children are children. Doesn't matter what they look like. The Queen tilted her head. You are unusual for a human. Most of us are better than. Our criminals, he said softly. But I won't pretend there aren't bad ones. Catherine stepped forward, eyes narrowed. What of the raiders? Did they escape? Rourke hesitated. No, they didn't. Syraxa sensed the weight behind his simple answer. She nodded once, accepting. Your Radiance, Catherine interjected. We must still determine how they breached our borders, how the children were taken. We will, Syraxa said. But not now. Her gaze softened on her daughters, who were now climbing into her lap and onto her shoulders, as if afraid to lose contact. Rourke watched with a faint smile. They've been asking about you non-stop. You understood their speech? Syraxa asked. Not at first. But empathic projection doesn't care about language barriers. This impressed her more than she admitted. Hours later, when the younglings slept together in a protective cluster, Syraxa led Rourke to the balcony overlooking the crystalline plains. You have returned to me what I feared lost forever, she said. There is no debt greater. I didn't do it for reward, Rourke replied. Just doing what's right. And yet, she insisted, your act altered the fate of a queen and an empire. She studied him, the way humans hid their emotions behind soft eyes and stiff postures. Our peoples have long walked parallel paths, she said. Peaceful but distant. You have changed that, Elias Rourke. He blinked. I have. You have shown me what a human heart is capable of. She lowered her head respectfully, an honor no human had ever received from a Varelian queen. Rourke swallowed, unsure how to respond. Your Majesty, if you ever need help again, the fleet will answer. And if you ever have need, Syraxa promised, the Varelian Empire will stand beside you. The wind shafts moaned again, but no longer like beasts in mourning. They sounded like sighs of relief. Below them, her daughters slept safely. Above them, the stars glittered with unspoken possibilities. For the first time since her children vanished, Queen Syraxa felt her heart core blaze with life once more. And it all began because a human, small, soft-skinned, fragile, had walked into her throne room holding her daughter's hands. Her mourning had ended. A new alliance had begun. And the galaxy would remember who forged it.